The human story is a story of quiet revolutions. Fire reshaped our nights, tools reshaped our hands, language reshaped our minds, agriculture reshaped our societies, machines reshaped our world, digital technology reshaped our connection to information. Yet none of these revolutions compare to the transformation rising before us now. Imagine the distant horizon of several centuries from today. Picture a child born in that era. Their cells resist disease with astonishing precision. Their memory forms faster because neural development is strengthened by engineered biology. Their muscles recover from strain with greater speed. Their senses reveal colors and wavelengths no natural human has ever seen. Their lifespan stretches longer than the oldest ages recorded today. This child does not see themselves as different. They see themselves as human. But they are not natural by the definition we use today. They are the product of a new evolutionary force. A force shaped by biological science, advanced medicine, and the merging of technology with living tissue. Now reflect on us, the humans of the present. We may be among the last generations to live entirely within the boundaries of natural biology, before enhancements, before engineered adaptation, before synthetic internal supports, before expanded senses or extended longevity, before humanity chooses the next step in its own design. The question at the center of this documentary is simple: what happens before we evolve again? What forces push us toward change? What pressures shape the final period of the natural human? What choices will determine the species that follows? People around the world search for answers to these questions. Will evolution continue naturally? Will technology become part of the body? Will humans still be human if our biology changes? How will artificial intelligence, medicine, genetics, and new environments reshape our descendants? To understand the transformation ahead, we must journey back to the beginning, to the ancient mechanisms that built the human we know today, to the slow and elegant engineering of nature itself. This is the story of the last natural human, and the final chapter before humanity evolves again. Humanity is the result of countless generations shaped by forces that worked in silence. Natural evolution is slow. It does not rush to meet deadlines. It has no awareness of the future. It responds only to pressure, environment, chance, and survival. Millions of years ago, ancient primates walked through dense forests, climbing, foraging, and navigating threats. Over time, small shifts accumulated. A change in posture allowed them to stand taller. Hands gained precision. Eyes gained depth perception. Muscles in the legs strengthened to support longer distances. These changes did not happen in one lifetime. They happened through thousands of generations. Later, as climates shifted and environments changed, human ancestors adapted again. They moved into open landscapes. They followed herds of animals across plains. Their brains grew larger. Their communication became more complex. Cooperation became essential for survival. Fire provided warmth, safety, and nutrition. Each improvement reinforced the next. Scientists study fossils, tools, and ancient genetic material to map these transitions. They examine how diet shaped teeth and jaws. They observe how endurance running influenced bone structure. They track how cold climates stimulated the development of larger bodies capable of conserving heat. Every biological trait we carry today exists because it once solved a problem. But those problems are not the same problems we face now. Today, humans do not rely on bone density to escape predators. We do not depend on night vision to protect our families. We do not need natural immunity alone to survive disease. Technology stands beside us at every step. Natural evolution works slowly because it depended on environmental pressure. But modern humans control almost every aspect of their environment. We warm our homes. We cool our cities. We store food for years. We prevent disease through medicine. We travel across continents through machines. We use digital systems to navigate, communicate, and learn. This reduction in environmental pressure means that natural evolution no longer shapes humanity with the same strength or direction. It still exists, of course. Mutations still occur. Traits still pass from one generation to the next. But the guiding hand of nature is now gentle instead of forceful. It nudges instead of pushes. Meanwhile, cultural evolution moves quickly, technological evolution moves faster, and artificial evolution, driven by human design, now rises as the strongest evolutionary force. This creates a new moment in history. A unique moment never seen before. A moment when humans gain the ability to intentionally influence their own biological future. And this moment sets the stage for what comes next. Because the next evolutionary step will not begin with nature, it will begin with us. For millions of years, evolution shaped humanity through processes too slow to witness. But today, for the first time in history, humans hold the tools to influence their own biological future. This new era is not defined by natural selection. It is defined by deliberate design. The roots of this transformation lie within the structure of DNA. DNA contains instructions for building proteins, regulating growth, repairing cells, and forming every organ. For centuries, these instructions were mysterious. Scientists could observe the body, but they could not read the code within it. Now, with modern genetics, we can not only read the code. We can understand it, we can edit it, we can repair it. We can even imagine writing new instructions for future generations. Gene therapy already treats certain diseases by replacing faulty DNA with healthy sequences. In medical labs, researchers use molecular tools to target very specific parts of the genetic code. They guide tiny proteins to locate and adjust segments of DNA with remarkable accuracy. This process requires careful analysis to prevent unintended effects, but the progress in recent years has been extraordinary. The goal of these therapies is to heal, not enhance. But the scientific foundation opens the possibility of biological improvement. Some scientists imagine a future in which cells could resist viruses more effectively. Others explore how metabolism could be adjusted to reduce chronic illness. There are theories about adjusting muscle development, bone strength, or even cellular aging. These ideas remain theoretical for general use. Ethical laws are strict. Medical guidelines demand caution. Researchers emphasize that humanity is at the beginning of this field, not the end. Precision must improve. Safety must be absolute. Public discussion must guide responsible development. However, the trajectory is clear. Humanity is moving from being shaped by evolution to shaping evolution. Cultural forces also play a major role. Parents naturally want their children to have the best chance at health and opportunity. Medical science allows families to screen for certain genetic conditions before birth. Over time, these choices influence population-wide genetic trends. When added to future medical innovations, these decisions could gradually reduce the presence of harmful genetic traits. In this era of self-design, humanity becomes an active participant in its own evolution. This does not mean every person will seek enhancement. Many may choose to remain fully biological. Some cultures may avoid intervention entirely. But the existence of choice itself marks a turning point. It means that the last natural humans may be alive right now, and the next generation may be the first to experience guided evolution. This shift will redefine what it means to be human. Natural evolution shaped us through survival. Self-directed evolution shapes us through intention. And this intention reaches its most profound expression inside the command center of the human body, the brain. The human brain is an ocean of electrical patterns and chemical signals. It shapes every memory, every movement, every emotion, every dream. It is the source of imagination, fear, love, and identity. And scientists are beginning to understand it with a depth once thought impossible. The brain contains tens of billions of neurons. Each neuron forms thousands of connections, creating a web of trillions of synapses. Through these synapses, the brain produces thought. It forms language, It constructs reality. It generates consciousness. Neuroscience uses advanced imaging techniques to observe these patterns. When a person moves a hand, certain neurons fire. When they recall a memory, another network lights up. When they imagine a shape or sound, specific circuits activate. These discoveries show that thought itself is a measurable form of biological energy. This understanding supports the development of brain interface technologies. Brain interfaces connect human intention to external machines. Sensors detect neural signals. Algorithms interpret the signals. Devices respond. The earliest brain interfaces allowed users to move cursors or robotic arms by focusing on specific thoughts. Over time, accuracy improved. Signals became clearer. Algorithms learned to predict intention with greater precision. Some individuals who lost the ability to speak regained communication through digital text generated by neural activity. Others regain movement by controlling prosthetic limbs with their thoughts. The brain adapts to these tools through neuroplasticity. It rewires itself to use new pathways. A prosthetic limb may eventually feel natural because the brain incorporates it into its internal map of the body. This adaptability suggests a profound future possibility, the expansion of human cognitive ability through technological support. Artificial intelligence enhances this process. Machine learning systems analyze neural signals with incredible speed. As artificial intelligence improves, brain interfaces may become more responsive, more personalized, and more intuitive. They may assist memory formation. They may detect early signs of neurological disorders. They may guide recovery after injury. Scientists also explore whether artificial intelligence can serve as a companion to human thought, not a replacement. A partner. A system that supports learning, reasoning, and decision-making. A second layer of intelligence that operates in harmony with biological processes. Imagine a future student with a neural link that provides instant access to scientific concepts when they struggle to understand a lesson. Imagine an older adult whose neural interface strengthens memory recall, reducing the impact of cognitive decline. Imagine a person communicating complex ideas instantly through a digital channel connected to their thoughts. These ideas remain theoretical, but research moves steadily forward. Each breakthrough brings humanity closer to hybrid intelligence. This does not mean the brain becomes a computer. Digital systems do not replace organic consciousness. Instead, the brain gains extension, support, reinforcement, connectivity. As this technology evolves, the line between natural and enhanced cognition begins to fade. The concept of a purely biological human may become rare. Before long, humanity will face questions no species has faced before. What does it mean to think with assistance? What does it mean to remember with support? What does it mean to be human when intelligence becomes a shared process between biology and technology? These questions define the era that may come after the last natural human. Every human body is a collection of interdependent systems. Bones provide structure. Muscles create movement. Organs process nutrients. Cells repair damage. But for all its strength, the human body has limitations. It fatigues, it breaks, it heals slowly. It becomes vulnerable with age. Scientists across medicine, engineering, and materials science are now developing technologies that support and enhance these systems. These innovations mark the early stages of a future in which the human body evolves through design rather than natural selection. Modern prosthetics demonstrate how far technology has come. Earlier artificial limbs allowed only simple movements. Today, advanced prosthetics respond to electrical signals produced by muscles when the user thinks about moving. This connection allows fine motor control, such as grasping objects or manipulating tools. Over time, the brain learns to treat the artificial limb as part of the body. Engineers also work to restore sensory feedback. Sensors inside prosthetic hands measure pressure or texture. These signals travel through wires to electrodes that stimulate nerves in the arm. Users can then experience the sensation of touching objects. This progress brings prosthetics closer to the natural function of biological limbs. Beyond prosthetics, exoskeleton technology supports movement from outside the body. Lightweight suits use motors and sensors to assist walking, lifting, and balance. These systems help people with mobility challenges stand and move. They also reduce strain on workers in physically demanding environments by redistributing weight and supporting joints. Medical researchers develop artificial organs to replace damaged biological ones. Artificial hearts help patients survive while awaiting transplants. Synthetic skin protects against infection and restores sensation for burn survivors. Scientists also explore artificial corneas and improved vascular grafts for patients with severe injuries. Nanotechnology enhances cellular repair. Microscopic particles deliver drugs directly to damaged tissue, increasing precision and reducing side effects. These particles can target specific cells, pathogens, or molecular pathways. In the future, nanotechnology may support immune responses or repair cellular damage from aging. Bioprinting represents another frontier. Researchers experiment with printing tissues and organs using layers of biological material. This technology is early, but it offers hope for future organ replacement and complex tissue repair. As these innovations continue, the human body may become a hybrid of organic and engineered systems. Muscles may include synthetic fibers that resist fatigue. Bones may be reinforced with advanced materials to prevent fractures. Neural pathways may connect with digital processors to support sensory interpretation or motor control. This hybrid body does not replace humanity, it extends it. It protects it. It enhances its resilience against injury, disease, and environmental stress. Over generations, people may expect these enhancements the same way we expect vaccines, glasses, or dental implants today. When that day comes, the fully natural human body will become increasingly rare. The last natural humans will be those who lived before enhancements became part of ordinary life. Evolution created the human form. Technology will reshape it. Human perception is limited by biology. Our eyes detect only a small fraction of the electromagnetic spectrum. We see visible light, but we miss infrared, ultraviolet, radio waves, gamma rays, and countless signals that fill our universe. Our ears hear a narrow band of frequencies. Our skin detects only certain levels of pressure and temperature. Our sense of smell is far weaker than that of many animals. Science now explores how to expand these senses, restore lost sensory abilities, and create entirely new forms of perception. Artificial retinas help patients with degenerative eye conditions interpret light once again. These systems use microelectrodes to stimulate surviving cells in the visual pathway. Users may see shapes, outlines, motion, or simple patterns. Although these devices do not replicate natural vision, they restore independence for individuals who have lost sight. Cochlear implants bypass damaged structures in the inner ear. They convert sound into electrical impulses and deliver them directly to the auditory nerve. This allows millions of people with severe hearing loss to perceive sound. For many, this technology restores social connection and communication. These devices demonstrate an important truth. The brain can interpret artificial sensory input. It can adapt to new data streams. It can learn to transform electrical signals into meaningful experiences. Researchers now ask a bold question. If the brain can learn artificial input, can it also learn new senses? Experiments suggest the answer may be yes. In one study, volunteers wore belts that delivered vibrations indicating cardinal directions. After extended use, participants developed a new sense of orientation. They could navigate without thinking, guided by a sense that did not exist naturally. The brain integrated this input as if it were an organic sense. This raises profound possibilities. Humans could one day sense ultraviolet light. They could perceive infrared radiation. They could feel electromagnetic fields. They could detect atmospheric changes predictive of storms. They could interpret seismic vibrations before earthquakes become destructive. They could understand chemical signals in new ways, expanding smell or taste far beyond current limits. Scientists investigate whether sensors connected to neural pathways could allow humans to perceive heat signatures at night, navigate like migratory birds, or detect radiation in deep space. These abilities remain theoretical, but the science behind them grows stronger each year. Such senses would transform human experience. They would expand reality itself. The universe would appear richer, deeper, and more detailed. Colors we cannot imagine today might become ordinary. Space and Earth would feel different. Environments would communicate information directly to our nervous system. This expansion of perception would have cultural and philosophical consequences. Art could evolve to include ultraviolet patterns or infrared shapes. Communication could involve new sensory dimensions. Education could incorporate multisensory learning. Entire fields of creativity might emerge around new forms of perception. When these enhancements become widespread, natural sensory limitations will be rare. People born without enhanced perception may feel as people today feel without vision correction, not inferior but different. Living within boundaries that future humans no longer share. The last natural human will be the last person to experience reality strictly through the original 5 senses. What comes after will redefine what it means to perceive the world. Human intelligence evolved over millions of years. It grew through cooperation, problem-solving, and survival. But today, humanity stands beside a new form of intelligence. One that does not sleep, does not fatigue, and does not forget. Artificial intelligence processes information on scales the human brain cannot match. It analyzes patterns across billions of data points. It simulates possibilities. It predicts outcomes. It translates languages. It accelerates scientific discovery. Artificial intelligence does not replace human intelligence. It complements it. It works through mathematics, while humans work through emotion, intuition, and consciousness. The two forms of intelligence are different, yet profoundly compatible. Together, they create a partnership that may define the next stage of evolution. Artificial intelligence systems already assist medical researchers by analyzing genetic variations, tracking disease patterns, and identifying treatments. They support climate scientists by modeling global changes. They guide engineers by optimizing designs. They help teachers personalize learning plans. They help doctors interpret scans with remarkable accuracy. But these applications are only the beginning. As artificial intelligence becomes more advanced, it may integrate more closely with human cognition. Imagine a digital companion that understands your thinking patterns and offers guidance when you need it. It helps you learn faster by presenting information in the way your brain prefers. It recognizes early signs of cognitive decline long before symptoms appear. It assists memory by organizing thoughts, events, and ideas. It provides clarity during complex decisions by analyzing variables you may overlook. These ideas are not as distant as they seem. Early research explores whether artificial intelligence can support patients with memory loss by creating cognitive scaffolding. Scientists also investigate the idea of external memory systems that work in harmony with the brain. A neural link could allow the brain to retrieve stored information instantly, similar to how we retrieve memories today. Artificial intelligence could become a silent partner to the mind, not controlling, not replacing, supporting. This partnership may reshape identity. If memory is supported externally, does the sense of self change? If decision-making includes artificial guidance, does free will feel different? If creativity receives artificial assistance, does inspiration shift in new ways? These are not technological questions. They are philosophical questions. As artificial intelligence integrates more deeply into daily life, humans will redefine intelligence itself. The next stage of evolution may not be biological. It may be cognitive. a hybrid state in which biological thought and artificial computation form a single system. If this becomes common, natural cognition, unaided by external intelligence, may become rare. The last natural human mind will be the last to navigate the world without digital partnership. This new era will influence every aspect of life, especially the one mystery that affects every human being, the passage of time. Aging is one of the most universal aspects of human life. Every cell in the body follows a cycle of growth, function, and decline. Over many decades, accumulated damage leads to weakened immunity, slower healing, and reduced cellular efficiency. Scientists study these processes to understand whether aging can be slowed or its effects reduced. Inside each cell, telomeres protect the ends of chromosomes. With every cell division, telomeres shorten. When they become too short, the cell loses its ability to divide, contributing to aging. Mitochondria, the structures that produce energy, also accumulate damage. Proteins misfold. DNA experiences wear. Waste products accumulate. These changes create the signs of aging we see in skin, muscles, organs, and the brain. Longevity science explores ways to improve cellular maintenance. Researchers study molecules that enhance DNA repair. They investigate compounds that reduce oxidative stress. They examine methods to clear damaged cells that contribute to inflammation. They look at how certain genes influence lifespan in other species, such as turtles, whales, or long-lived mammals. Some scientists explore how metabolic pathways influence longevity. For example, calorie regulation affects certain genes that help the body withstand stress. Exercise strengthens mitochondrial function. Specific diets influence hormone balance and inflammation. These effects do not stop aging, but they can slow certain processes. Advanced research examines whether aging could one day be classified as a treatable condition rather than an unavoidable decline. This does not mean immortality. It means slowing cellular deterioration. It means extending the years in which a person remains strong, independent, and mentally sharp. It means increasing the quality of life, not just the length of life. If these advances become widespread, the consequences will reshape society. People may spend longer periods learning new skills. Careers may extend for many decades. Families may span more generations. Health systems may focus on prevention rather than treatment. Cities may change to support populations that remain active far longer than today. This extended vitality would influence evolution itself. With longer lives, humans may reproduce at different ages. Genetic patterns may shift. Cultural traditions may evolve. The idea of adulthood and old age may change entirely. But longevity does not only shape life on Earth. It becomes essential if humanity expands beyond Earth. Deep space missions require decades or centuries of travel. A longer lifespan would allow explorers to reach distant worlds within a single lifetime. The last natural human lifespan will be short compared to what may one day be possible. The natural limits of aging will no longer define the human experience. But as humanity expands its abilities, a new evolutionary force rises, the environment of tomorrow. Both on Earth and beyond it. Human evolution has always been shaped by environment. Ancient humans adapted to forests, open plains, cold climates, and coastal regions. Today, humanity faces environments that change faster than biology can adapt. Climate change alters temperatures, sea levels, and weather patterns around the world. As environments shift, agriculture, water supply, and health conditions also change. Technology helps us adapt, but the changing world still creates new pressures. These pressures influence where people live, how they work, and the resources they depend on. At the same time, humanity prepares for exploration beyond Earth. Life in space introduces conditions unknown to natural evolution. Low gravity weakens bones and muscles. Cosmic radiation threatens cells. Psychological challenges arise during isolation in distant environments. These factors create new kinds of stress that the human body is not naturally designed to handle. Scientists develop tools to help. Protective habitats shield astronauts from radiation. Exercise systems preserve bone density. Specialized suits support movement in low gravity. Research continues to examine how future explorers may live on the Moon or Mars for long periods. If humans eventually settle other worlds, evolution may diverge again. Different environments could create distinct physical or biological traits over generations. Technology may support this process, guiding adaptation to new planets or moons. This era will mark a turning point. The last natural humans will be the last people shaped mostly by Earth alone. Future generations will be shaped by Earth, by technology, and by worlds that natural evolution never anticipated. Every step toward human enhancement brings ethical questions that humanity must face. These questions shape how new technologies will be used and who will benefit from them. Access is one of the biggest concerns. Enhanced health, extended lifespan, or improved physical or cognitive abilities must be available fairly if they become part of society. If only certain groups gain enhancement, inequality may grow rapidly. Privacy also becomes essential when technology interacts with biology. Digital tools, neural interfaces, and genetic data must be protected. People must have control over how their information is used and who can access it. Identity raises another challenge. If someone receives enhanced senses or strengthens their body with synthetic systems, they remain human. But society must support individuals as they adapt to these changes. Personal experiences may shift. Cultural expectations may evolve. Society must respond with understanding rather than fear. Ethical guidelines ensure that enhancement remains safe, reasonable, and beneficial. Scientists emphasize that progress must focus on healing, empowerment, and quality of life. Each advancement requires careful discussion, global cooperation, and strong moral principles. The future of evolution will be shaped not just by technology, but by the values humanity chooses to uphold. The last natural human will live at the threshold of these decisions. How we act in this moment will influence the next chapter of our species. Every human alive today is part of a story that began millions of years ago. A story written by nature, shaped by environment, and guided by survival. But now a new chapter approaches. A chapter shaped not by slow evolution, but by knowledge, engineering, and imagination. The last natural human will not disappear suddenly. There will be no single moment when humanity changes overnight. Instead, the transformation will unfold through medicine, technology, and discovery. Bit by bit, enhancements will become common. Longevity will improve, senses will expand. Bodies will strengthen, minds will connect more deeply with intelligent systems. These changes will build upon one another until the distinction between natural and enhanced is no longer clear. Humanity will remain human. But humanity will also become something new. The last natural human marks the end of one story and the beginning of another. It represents the final moment before evolution becomes guided by intention. It symbolizes the turning point between the world we inherited and the world we design. If you wish to continue exploring the mysteries of the universe, the future of evolution, and the science shaping our next chapter, subscribe for more journeys into the unknown. The future of humanity begins not tomorrow, but today. And we are the generation standing at the doorway of what comes next.